Uber Eats, DoorDash, and many other food delivery services have become widely used across the country. However, a major issue many food drivers are facing is being underpaid, which leads to an unstable work environment. Drivers are usually paid from $1 to $5 per delivery trip, depending on the distance. The rest relies heavily on tips from the customer.
I did DoorDash for a couple of months, and the pay pre-tip that DoorDash gives you is pretty low, to the point where the majority of your wages are based on the tips that the customer gives you.
On average, tips make up approximately 50 to 60% of drivers' total earnings.
The idea of it and like the fact that you can have your own schedule makes it less stressful, but when you're actually on the streets, it's kind of unstable because you don't know when you're gonna get opportunities. Like sometimes I could just be driving for 30 minutes without a single ping, and that just means me wasting time and gas. So some aspects of it are and some aren't. Like as a student, it's really convenient and probably my best option right now, but for long term I would say no. Yeah, I would say about half of my earnings, if not more, are tips. Good days, it's more, um, but most of the time it's about half.
Tipping has always been a typical way to pay for services in America. However, not every customer is willing to leave tips. What they don't take into consideration is long distance drives, gas, and car maintenance.
Most of the time they do tip, but when they don't tip, it's like a big deal because it feels like a useless trip. Because sometimes the bases, like what Uber will pay me just for the trip alone, can typically range between like $3 to $5, even though I'm driving 6 miles. It just doesn't make sense.
Customers are more likely to tip in person, such as tipping a waitress in a restaurant or a barista at a coffee shop, rather than tipping an anonymous food delivery driver.
Yeah, I think whether or not the customers see me has a big impact because it feels like there's an actual interaction there. They see the face who's working for them as opposed to like just an anonymous driver can be compared to like a robot almost.
This lack of basic interaction severely disrupts and hinders the tipping process.
I would just urge everyone who uses Uber or Postmates or any similar platform consider the time of day, whether there's traffic during this time, your location, if it's raining or not. These are the kind of things where I would think about tipping a little bit more based on the circumstances and just tipping, period.